Hi, this is Trepacer. Welcome to Trepacer Saturday Horror Reviews. And last week I reviewed Dr. Phibes, and this week I'm reviewing the sequel, Dr. Phibes Rises Again. Of course, this stars Vincent Price as Dr. Anton Phibes, who, if you remember the first movie, of course, was his wife died in a horrible car accident. Well, it was a car accident, and his wife died on the operating table, and he was severely disfigured. And of course, he wanted revenge against the doctors who he blamed for her dying on the table. And he set about in his elaborate ways of killing these doctors with the assistance of his lovely assistant Valvina in biblical type of torture, basically, in the first movie. And of course, the police had to track him down and try to find out exactly, why he's committing these murders and stuff. And if you watch the way it ended, you thought, okay, that's the end of the movie, and that's, he got his revenge, and that's how it ended. But in the sequel, of course, he gets resurrected, okay, and they kind of, this is a spoiler, I guess. They explain how he basically, at the end of the first movie, he gets his, he joins his wife, his late wife, in a tomb, and he basically exhumes his blood with an embalming, he pulls his blood out and puts embalming fluid in himself and lies beside his wife in the tomb. And they say this sequel takes place 3 years later, where basically when the moon rises to a certain extent, he gets resurrected. He gets resurrected, and with the purpose, of course, of going to ancient Egypt and resurrecting his dead wife and joining her, and bringing her back to life. But when he wakes up, of course, he finds out that his house has been destroyed, and that the scrolls that he had that would tell him exactly where in ancient Egypt these, the river of life, I think was what they call it, the river of life is. So of course he sets about trying to find out who stole the scrolls from him, and of course traveling to Egypt with his dead wife and the assistant Valvina again, who he beckons for from the hereafter to come and aid him in getting his revenge against the people who took the scrolls, and of course going with his wife to ancient Egypt to resurrect her in the river of life. Also starring in this movie is Robert Corey, who plays I think a character named Beck, okay, who's also a ancient, collector of these ancient artifacts and stuff, and he's the one who actually has the squirrels. And Robert Corey also played in two of my favorite vampire movies, Count Yorga and The Return of Count Yorga. But he's sort of like an antagonist in this movie to Dr. Anton Phibes, of course, because he's trying to get to the River of Life before Dr. Phibes, and of course encounters him there. And of course, Dr. Phibes is getting his revenge, of course, with the assistance of his lovely assistant Valvina, getting his revenge, and also trying to get the key to get to the River of Life, so he can resurrect his wife. And this movie is played more broad. There's more comedy in this movie than in the previous movie. And like I said, you still have that same bubbling detective in this movie, of course, with another character as well. And you have, of course, the ingenious ways that Dr. Phibes chooses to kill people. That's still apparent in this movie as well. But this movie is played with more comedy in it than the first movie. Okay, and I think the first movie is just definitely a better horror movie. Even though that movie had a little comedy in it, but this movie has more comedy and more slapstick in it, I guess, so to speak, to give it a term. But this movie, I think, it's just not as good as the first one, but it's still entertaining because it's Vincent Price and he still gives his all in his performance. So, and they also have a new Valvina, because I think the original actress, I read somewhere that she was pregnant at the time they made the sequel, so they had to get another actress to play Valvina. Okay, but also in this movie is not Christopher Lee, I'm sorry, Peter Cushing. He has a cameo in this, and also Terry Thomas, who played a victim of Anton Phibes in the first movie. He's in this movie in a small part as well. Okay, and like I said, it's Vincent Price. It's not as good as the first movie, but it's still entertaining because it's Vincent Price. Okay, and let me give this movie a 6.5. Okay, I'm gonna give it a 6.5. I thought the first movie was a better movie, but this movie is, it's okay. Like I said, just that, notch below, more comedy in it. Okay, so, but it's Vincent Price, so I watched it anyway. Let me know what you think of Dr. Phibes Rises Again. That's the title. I keep saying The Return of Dr. Phibes, but it's actually Dr. Phibes Rises Again. That's the the title of this. Anyway, a 6.5 for me. I still think the first movie is just a better movie, and this one is played more comedy in it and stuff. But still, you hear Vincent Price, doing everything for his beloved. So a 6.5 for me. Anyway, feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trepacer saying so long and take care.